Competitive sports, let's get straight to it. Week 7, let's go. Thursday night, Denver wet the bed against Cleveland, losing to a backup. No backup running back, no starting running back. Odell gets hurt, they still lose. Denver's in trouble.
Listen, Dearness Johnson had 146, 1 touchdown, crazy, off the bench. I don't even know who the guy was before this game started, to be honest with you. Myles Garrett had 1.5 sacks, but we got to talk about how bad this Broncos defense was. Literally horrible. They let this man come in here, run up all and down the field, had 146 on a defense that had Von Miller and a pretty solid defensive line. I don't know what happened there. Like, literally, I'm not picking Broncos after this anymore.
Von Miller was talking crazy before the game and did absolutely nothing, too. I think he said his pride was hurt, which it should be.
It should be.
Let's talk about these Carolina Panthers. I told you to pick the Giants. You never pick your boys. You see what happened?
Hey, that game was so bad, it was 5-3 at halftime. 5-3 at halftime.
Yo.
I don't know what's going on, and furthermore, I don't know what we're doing as a Giants community. Somebody let me know. Like, we need to get somebody on the phone. Are we tanking this season, or are we trying to win? Galladay was out, Saquon Barkley was out, Kadarius Toney was out. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. Like, literally, it makes no sense to me. We literally have no direction as a franchise. That's a game we're supposed to lose to a superior team.
No.
Makes no sense.
No. That was more. Y'all didn't really win the game. That was more about how bad the Carolina Panthers are.
Terrible. I mean, the Carolina Panthers was bad too. Like, the Panthers' O-line was terrible. They gave up 6 sacks in that one. Like, I don't really know.
Yeah, but that wasn't all the O-line. A lot of it is Sam Darnold missing reads. He threw a ball straight to Bradbury. He threw one straight to Bradbury, and you see it on the sideline. Bradbury said, he just threw it straight to him. And you watch the All-22. He had Robbie Anderson wide open in the middle of the field. Why are you forcing the ball? Like, Sam Darnold is so bad, man. Like, I almost just lost hope. Like, there's nothing that Sam Darnold can do right now.
Sam Darnold need to see one of them sports psychologists that's in their heads, right? He's in his own head. He's mistiming his throws. He's second guessing his reads. Like, he's not the same quarterback that started this season off. Like, the competition doesn't get any easier than this. Like, we're a terrible team. I don't know what he's doing. He has the weapons. If I'm the Carolina Panthers, I'm making a call down to Houston to talk to somebody about Deshaun Watson. That's what needs to happen.
News on that. From what I heard from the streets, they said we got the best offer right now. He will take the deal. We just working out some kinks. From what I hear, from right now, we got the best deal for Deshaun Watson, and Houston will accept it. It's just they trying to iron out a couple of things. But I'm expecting Deshaun in the city. All right, let's move on to the New York Jets getting completely blown out by New England. That was an easy money game right there.
That one, we really don't got to talk about anything on that one. Mac Jones did look solid in that one. Damian Harris ran for 106 in that one. But, I mean, come on now. Like, the Jets are the Jets. Zach Wilson did get hurt in that game. But at no point was it even, like, competitive. It was 54-13. Like,
you know another game that wasn't competitive? Kansas City versus Tennessee. Kansas City, man. I told you the defense was bad, but now the offense is like, I guess they trying to make up for the lack of defense, and now they're just not even on the same page because they only scored 3 points.
Listen, Project Pat, I don't know if he's overly confident right now, but he just seems careless out there. Like, his reads are off. He's throwing into double, triple coverage sometimes, and it's costing the team. Like, usually they can string together some nice drives, but it hasn't been working these last few weeks. For them to only put up 3 points on the Tennessee Titans defense that's been struggling before this, like, I don't understand what they were thinking with that. But of course, Derrick Henry, they did a good job on him. Typically, they have a rookie that was a bright spot during that. Nick Bolton. He had a couple good form tackles that he came up. Maybe that's the only bright spot for Kansas City defense, but I don't know.
Let's go to Green Bay defeats Washington. Not really surprised here. Everything that happened in the game pretty much happened. Anything on that?
Aaron Rodgers did what he does. Raekwon Gray had 2 sacks.
This right here, man. Atlanta defeats Miami. Something told me to pick Atlanta. I knew Kyle Pitts would have a big game. They couldn't guard him.
You called that last week. You said Kyle Pitts was going to have a big game.
He'll have a big game, but I'm like, yo, Brian Flores, like, you're one of my favorite coaches. Like, we gotta get this done.
Hey,
I don't know.
Have a conversation about Brian Flores.
You gotta beat Atlanta, bro. You at home. You have to beat Atlanta. Like that man.
Listen,
oh Lord.
They had Tua drop back 40 times in that game. 40 times. He's not that type of quarterback yet. He's still trying to develop. That's bad coaching, honestly, if I have to say so. But I mean, they just got outplayed.
What else they gonna do?
I mean, they running back game wasn't that good either. They tried to run it about 15, 16 times, but I mean, they just need more talent. Honestly, they need more talent and maybe some more time. But we'll see.
Definitely more talent is needed. Man, what a statement by the Cincinnati Bengals. Went into Baltimore and went crazy. Just completely dominated Baltimore, 41-17. Man, I told you about that Jamar Chase boy a long time ago.
And you know that boy was starting this week for your boy. You know he was starting. He had 201, 8 receptions and a touchdown. I like what he did. Joe Burrow also went over 400 yards in that game, looking very solid as well.
Big time statement. Let's talk about Jared Goff versus Matthew Stafford. They faced their old former teams.
Listen, that game was too close for no reason. Like, I don't understand why that game was close like that. LA was only up 1 at the half, and then they went down right after that. It was 19-17, and then in the fourth quarter, that's when I guess they turned it on. This is the second time we've seen Matt Stafford turn it on second half, but I don't know. I was expecting them to really come out and dominate that game. They didn't, but Jalen Ramsey did get a pick in that one.
But I do like I ain't gonna lie, Detroit came out with, they was playing Madden. Like, they did some onside kicks.
They did some onside kicks.
They did two fake punts. Like, I was like, I can rock with this. If you're gonna lose, let's go ahead and lose. Like, we about to go all out. I can dig that loss.
Ran out of gas in that one.
All right, let's talk. This is a disappointing team for me, man. Philly losing to the Raiders, man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, Philly's head coach, and they're at some point
you pick Philly?
Yeah, I picked Philly.
Why you pick Philly?
Because at some point they gotta just be balanced. Like, you gotta be balanced with Hurts in the run game. Like, Hurts is in shotgun every play, drop back every play.
He's improvising every play. He had 34 dropbacks in that one. Like, I mean, what do you expect? He did try to come back in the fourth quarter, I believe, but that game was already out of reach. At that point, it didn't make no sense. But your boy Carr, you know, I'm big money on Carr. Like I told you guys, he looked good that game too.
Yeah, they look solid, man. Philly, they got some changes going on, and I haven't said this on the show, but man, I see Jalen Hurts in Pittsburgh for some reason. I don't know why. I just see Pittsburgh making that type of move. That's the type of move I see.
Possibility.
Let's talk, because you know Philly got 3 right now, projected 3 top 10 picks. So they get 3 top 10 picks. They might most likely get a quarterback.
Also, Ndakwe, 2 sacks in that one.
Yeah. Let me see. Arizona 31-5 over Houston, dominated. Anything on that?
That was actually a really ugly game, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, Kyler Murray had a decent game, I guess. I don't know. It was an ugly game. But
D-Hop and J.J. Watt got revenge on that old team. Tampa Bay versus Chicago, 38-3. This is a clear-cut case of varsity versus JV.
Listen, Chris Godwin went over 100. I think Mike Evans had 3 touchdowns in that one. Like, they pulled Brady. I mean, that game, like, what we talking about here is blowout.
Brady threw his, 600 touchdowns?
Oh, yeah, he did. Mike Evans. That fan actually gave the ball back.
That fan was tripping.
He gave the ball back.
Yeah, he tripping. I need 150,000. My neck and my back.
Stupid, man.
Come on, man. All right, Colts is San Fran, man. Colts got the dub over San Fran. I told you it'd be a nice, good game. I went with San Fran, though, thinking they could pull it out. Once I seen that weather, though, it was raining like crazy. That's not good for San Fran. They got to throw that ball around. It was a sloppy game. Too many mistakes. Too many turnovers. Cost them the dub.
Listen, it was 13-12 at halftime, and then they let the Colts run away with it. Jonathan Taylor had a good game in that one, also over 100. But I mean, Carson Wentz didn't do nothing crazy. I mean, it's going to be him if they're going to make that prediction that you came out with. They're going to make the playoffs over the Titans.
And then
I'm never going to forget that.
Well, another thing we got to talk about. Let's talk about them San Fran predictions too, though.
Hey. Like I said, Jimmy G first game back. You know, Jimmy G's trying to get back in his rhythm. He struggled during this game, but it's his first game back. I mean, he was second guessing himself. You could see it on his face. He wasn't that comfortable. Deebo Samuel went over 100 on that one. You know, it is what it is. He's gonna get his rhythm.
I mean, it's not the NBA. You only got 17 games.
Hey, You got one more game than last season. You gonna be all right.
All right, let's talk about this game from last night. The Saints defeat
wow.
Seahawks 13-10.
You want to talk about an ugly game?
Oh my man.
You want to talk about an ugly game? So the weather conditions in this game. Let's start with that, right? The weather conditions weren't favorable. It was raining down hard, right?
Wasn't raining that bad.
It was raining. It was raining pretty hard during that game.
Seattle.
So Seattle, it was raining. It was raining hard. Hard enough. I mean, that's what I'm gonna give it to that. That's what they were blaming it on. Maybe the ball was wet or something. 2 catches that Jameis Winston threw right on the money going into halftime dropped. Kamara did get a lot of catches out the backfield. I guess ran around. He did get over 100 yards, but it comes down to the kicker from Seattle Seahawks that cost him the game. He missed 2 field goals.
You play with your backup quarterback. You're at home Monday night prime time. You got to go out there and make those kicks, man. Like you with your backup, you're going against a good New Orleans defense. When you got opportunities to get points on the board, you got to capitalize on those points.
New Orleans did have 5 sacks in that one too.
Yeah.
They offensive line for Seattle didn't make it any easier on Geno.
All right, that's it for week 7, y'all.
What the streets talking about? After 7 weeks of football, we want to know who's on the hot seat.
I'm gonna go ahead. This might be a little biased. Matt Rule. The seat getting a little warm. You got Cam Newton up out of here just because you wanted to control the locker room, which is fine. Okay, cool. Do your thing. Teddy didn't work out. Now you trade away 2nd round pick, 4th round pick, and a 6th round pick for Sam Darnold. He's benched already. He's looking bad. You don't want to get Deshaun Watson. You know why? Because once you get a superstar quarterback like a Deshaun Watson, if he gets here and he say, hey, David Tepper, which is our owner, if he say Matt Rule don't know what he's talking about, get him up out of here, you're going to be going. That's why you don't want a Deshaun Watson. You want to keep a Sam Darnold because if you can win with him, oh, you're a genius. But if you can't win with him, you just blame it on him because he sucks. I'm the head coach. I know what I'm talking about. But if you get a Deshaun Watson, a superstar that know what he's doing, and you say, hey, Matt Rule, he's terrible. Get him out of here. Guess what? You're going. Matt Rule is getting a little warm, buddy.
Hey, I get Matt Rule. Matt Rule been losing some games he should have won, but I'm going with Vic Fangio. Down there in Denver. I don't know what they got going on. They losing to teams that have all their skill positions. None of their players are playing. You lost your backup running back and your starting back in Chubb and Hunt. How is the Ernest Johnson coming out here going for 146? Somebody explain this to me, right? Defense is more than capable of stopping some people. They shown that earlier in the season. What's going on? Where's the miscommunication? Is he losing the locker room? I don't know. But that team should not have lost that game on Thursday. They cost me money, and I'm upset about it. Really, they losing to a Cleveland Browns team that should have and was expected to lose. Come on now. Vic Fangio, gotta get him up out the spot.
Let me add on one thing, and I hate to say this, from what the streets is really talking about, one of my favorite coaches, I think he top 5 coach, but they say his seat's getting real warm, is Brian Flores down there in Miami, man. Like, it's not really all his fault, but they say the seat is warm.
They talking about they don't believe it too as much either.
Yeah, we gonna see what happens with Miami and Watson, but Brian Flores is on the hot seat. If it was up to me, no lie, I was gonna bet money on he'd be the first coach fired. But I hope it works out for him, man. He had a tough loss against Atlanta. You cannot lose that game at home, so he's gonna have to bounce back real soon. But I definitely agree on Vic Fangio.
Hey, believe we're gonna stick with our brothers.
Yeah, we definitely gonna do.
You know we're gonna do what we do. All right, guys, let's get into these Week 8 matchups. We're gonna start with Thursday's game: Green Bay Packers at the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to go ahead and ride with the Cardinals on this one. I wanted to pick the Packers, honestly. I promise, guys. But, you know, Devontae going to be out this week. I'm not going to be able to go with it. If they're missing Adams, that's going to be pretty bad.
Yeah, even if they had Devontae Adams, I was going with the Cardinals. This is a game where the Cardinals has a lot of weapons. I expect them to spur it out. Green Bay's defense. This is a game where Green Bay is going to miss Jair Alexander. Arizona with the dub, stays undefeated. All
right, let's talk about these Panthers at the Falcons. This is a game I kind of had a little struggle with. We just got done talking about how bad Matt Rule is. But I'm still going to bank on Matt Rule getting up out the spot, to be honest with you. I'm going to go ahead and ride with the Falcons on this one. Kyle Pitts has been going absolutely crazy. I think they do just enough at home.
This is a ride or die game. I'm going to ride with Carolina, probably die with Carolina. So we probably going to lose. It is what it is. But I got Carolina.
All right, looking into this Bengals at Jets. Of course, I'm going with the Bengals. Bengals might be the hottest team in the NFL, to be honest with you guys right now. They just knocked down Big Trust last week. I like to see what they come out this week and do.
Definitely the hottest team. Everybody talk about Cincinnati offense, but everybody underrates their defense and always underestimated those off-season signings that they had. Big pickups on defense, and they've been playing well.
All right, let's get to this Rams at Texans. I'm expecting a slaughter, especially since they didn't handle their business last week. I expect the Rams come out here and straight dominate these Houston Texans.
I don't know about a slaughter, man. It's like the Rams don't never really dominate.
They need to slaughter these teams.
They never do it.
They didn't slaughter last week. They let the Lions stay around. I don't understand why. They don't want to pull away in the fourth. They need to slaughter this team, reign dominant if they're going to be a division and win the Super Bowl like you predicted.
I don't think they dominated, slaughtered anybody all season though. They always win by like maybe 10 or 14. But of course, everybody got the Rams.
Hey, listen, we getting into this Dolphins at Bills. I'm gonna ride with the Bills on this one. It's not looking good for your boy, unfortunately.
Man, I'm going with Buffalo, but man, I'm just praying for my boy Brian Flores. Man, you gotta make it out the storm.
Hey,
gotta make it out the storm.
Not looking too good for him, to be honest.
Come on, man.
Moving into this Eagles at the Lions. I'm hoping that the Eagles offensive coordinator this week takes his time to talk to Jalen Hurts and gives him an offensive scheme this week that's going to cater to his needs, honestly. I'm going to go with the Eagles because Jalen Hurts hasn't been playing bad. He hasn't. He's been forcing things. He's having to force. If he doesn't have to force, they play and get his weapons involved, the Miles Sanders of the world, then he'll be fine. I think he can win this game.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Philly too, but if Detroit's going to win the game, this might be the one. Philly better come in.
They're at home too.
Yeah, don't come in expecting just because they 0-7, they gonna lay down. Philly better come in correct, but I got Philly.
All right, now this is another game that this better be the one too. This is the Steelers at the Browns. Steelers better win this game. They're coming off a bye week. I'm expecting them to come out and just reign dominant, especially with the players at the skill position. You got your Hunts and your Chubbs that still may not be playing, and OBJ.
Chubb is in. Chubb is playing. Hunt is not playing. Chubb is playing. And they're getting the right tackle.
I thought he was questionable.
No, he's been practicing.
All right.
Yeah, Chubb and their right tackle is back. And Odell look like he's going to play.
All right, so where you at?
Come on, man. Pittsburgh. Come on now.
Just making sure. Hey, we need it on the record, baby. Let's go into this San Francisco at the Bears. I'm going to go ahead and go with San Francisco. Cornstar Jimmy. I'm expecting him to catch his feet under himself, get a little bit more comfortable, and handle his business this week.
Yes, as long as the weather is fine and good and clear, I got San Fran bouncing back. I picked them to go to the playoffs. They need to step it up. This is a game you must win.
Absolutely. Debo Samuel going to do his thing this week, too. Let's talk about this Titans at Colts.
Big game.
Hey,
big game.
Ain't nothing big about it.
Hey, big game.
You seen what Derrick Henry and them boys did last week. You seen what they did last week. A.J. Brown going crazy this week. Absolutely crazy this week. Derrick Henry, they can't stop him. Watch them assert dominance on the division, let people know who don't believe that they gonna win that division easily.
Hey, I got the Colts, man. You got
what?
You got to win the home game. All right, y'all help serve at home. It's our turn. We at the crib. I'm going with the Colts, baby.
We'll be here next week to talk about this, guys. We'll be here next week to talk about this.
It's a division game.
We'll be here next week to talk about this. You heard him say the Colts are gonna beat the Titans, not going down.
You got King Henry running in that gap, meeting up with Darius Leonard. I like that matchup.
We're going to see what she's talking about. All right, moving to the Jaguars and Seahawks. This is another best of the worst game right here, man. Now, I'm going to have to go with the home team, right? Especially after what happened last game. They were at home. That was a heartbreaking loss, right? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to ride with Seattle on this one in hopes that they do just enough, right? DK Metcalf got out early. We ain't see him for the rest of the game. But Jacksonville just that bad. So we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, Jacksonville, they don't have the defense that New Orleans had. They don't have a Marcus Lattimore. Geno Smith should be able to move the ball a little bit better against Jacksonville. I believe Pete Carroll and them will have a great defensive game plan for Trevor Lawrence. And they got the 12th man in the crowd, Seattle. I got Seattle. All right. Close game.
All right, moving to this Patriots at Chargers. I'm going to go ahead and ride with the Chargers on this one. I like what they've been doing. I think it's going to be a lot closer game than people anticipate, though. You probably don't want to bet on this one.
Yes, I definitely expect this to be a nice, good game, especially in the third. But I see the Chargers pulling away in the fourth with a couple of key passes down the field.
All right.
Chargers.
We got the Buccaneers heading down to Louisiana to go and take on these Saints. But I'm going to still ride with the Buccaneers. They basically only played 3 quarters last game, so they should be well rested. I'm expecting them to keep rolling.
Yeah, I got Tampa Bay, man. Remember last year, this was Tom Brady's first game with Tampa Bay was in New Orleans, and he lost. Tom Brady remembers stuff like that.
He does. Moving on to the football team, Washington, playing against the Broncos. You heard what I just said about your boy Van. I'm not rocking with the Broncos until they win some games again. Don't have no other reason why I'm not picking them. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got Washington, man. Denver, man. They just bad, man. Teddy Bridgewater, he looked like he even got worse from when he was in Carolina.
He did.
He just looked bad.
Hey, they need to free my boy Von Miller.
But they do say Jerry Jeudy's coming back, and he's a huge. They have not looked the same since he's been gone.
Yeah, Cortland Sutton's been playing decent though.
He ain't Jerry Jeudy. But I'm still rolling with Washington though. Still got Washington.
All right, we got another late night game.
Tricky.
Cowboys at Vikings.
Tricky.
I'm going to go ahead and ride with the Cowboys on this one. This is going to be a close game, though. Expect very similar to the Cowboys last one. This is going to be like, oh, okay, they're going to have to do some extra things. I'm expecting CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper to have to get involved. Big running game, but it's still going to be a close game.
This is going to be a real good game. I got Cowboys pulling it out, but I do see them struggling to contain Justin Jefferson as well as Dalvin Cook, but Dallas' offense is a little bit too much explosive plays. Got Dallas pulling it out.
All right, then we got this Monday night game that we better lose. Giants at Kansas City. This is a game, should be a perfect bounce back game if Project Pat can play. I believe he's listed as questionable right now, but they need to get back on. They need to get back on that wagon.
Yeah, this is Kansas City. If they lose to Daniel Jones at home, Monday night prime time, cancel the season. This is Kansas City bouncing back.
All right, that's competitive sports for this week. We out.